We're talking football. We're talking Myles Murphy. That's a heck of a transition. Is it time for the Bengals to pay Myles Murphy? They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, but the defensive end market starting to get set. And I think this is interesting because you got the tale of two different contracts here. The first one, let's start in division with Herbig, because Nick Herbig agreeing to a 4-year massive contract with the Steelers worth $100 million, $42 million guaranteed. David Mulligetta was the one that got this. No, it wasn't David Mulligetta. It feels like a Mulligetta deal, but One of One Football was able to get this deal done. So Herbig, awesome player, $42 million guaranteed, $100 million. Meanwhile, you look at Derek Hall and the Seahawks, and they agreed to a 3-year, $42 million extension that could be worth up to $46.5 million with $21 million guaranteed. He had 2 sacks and a forced fumble in Super Bowl 60. Here's what's interesting. If you're telling me Myles Murphy 4 for 100, I think you punt it to the sun because the Bengals would never do that.
Yeah.
But if it's the other side and it's 3 for 42, the Bengals might do that today. But would Myles do that today? Is that something that both sides would be interested in? I do wonder. And so it's interesting to see both sides of this. I will say this. I think Nick Herbig is viewed much differently in NFL circles than Hall or Murphy.
Thus the price point there.
No doubt. But I'm just saying the contract backs it up. So I don't think that's necessarily a comp. The Bengals would roll their eyes at that. But I want to mention that because that deal got done last week. Hall got done last week as well. What do you guys think this means for Myles?
In my opinion, Myles Murphy falls squarely in between these two players. And I think the question would be, what price point are the Bengals comfortable at meeting him at? I would be shocked if Murphy would accept that Derek Hall deal. 3 years, $42 million, only $21 million of it fully guaranteed. I don't think that is the route Myles Murphy would go. I think, obviously, all speculation. I think it's just something he would be able to bet on himself at that point and think that he could have an opportunity to have a much better season this year and attack a bigger contract in free agency. Nick Herbig, I think, is a clear tier above Myles Murphy.
He's a dog.
The
Bengals were bummed. They were excited for Myles Garrett to get out of the division. They were bummed to see Nick Herbig resign. I'm serious.
I like Herbig a lot. And for him to put up these numbers without being an every down player, not even a starter on that defense, is great. But Derek Hall, there you can see the production and so much conversation about Murphy's production as well. Only 5.5 sacks last year, none the year before, 3 his rookie year, but still more than Derek Hall last season. So I do think Murphy falls in between, certainly not inching towards the 25 range, but I don't think 3 for 42 gets anywhere near getting it done.
See, I don't know. I disagree. I think 3 for 42 could be a number worth exploring. I mean, I feel because the 2025 stats for Derek Hall I think are a little misleading. You have to look at his 2024 season where he started 14 games for Seattle. He had 8 sacks in that season. Like you said, the most Myles has had is 5.5. So I don't know. I'm still in the camp of the Bengals and Murphy, kind of waiting to see how he plays this season. At this point, you already didn't pick up the 5th-year option. What's the rush of getting an extension done? I think they could absolutely wait to make sure that they're going to get the most for their investment, and you're not just paying Myles where you need to see it a little bit more on tape.
Hall has 10 sacks over the past 2 seasons. Murphy has 5.5. He didn't have any. Both same draft class, didn't have any in 2024. What's interesting about this is there were 9 picks in between each. Myles Murphy was the 28th pick, and then you got Hall, who was the 37th overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft. I think you're probably right that it's somewhere in the middle, but it's like a few million more than Hall. Hall is the market setter. If the Bengals are going to get a deal done with Murphy this offseason, that's it. Is somewhere in that range, in the $45-ish million range. Maybe there are incentives to get it to 50. And if he's not going to do that, then I just don't think a deal gets done. Because if you're the Bengals, why would you go higher than that when he has a lot to prove still? And that's where I think this gets interesting is the Herbig one. It's worth mentioning because it happened in the same vicinity, but he's on a whole different playing field, whole different level.
Yeah.
And that's almost like TJ Watt insurance long term for the Steelers.
Insurance or
now. Sure. Yeah. Either way, however you want to view it, but that's it. That's your long term pass rusher. You look at this and it like Hall and Murphy are pretty similar. So maybe it's 3 for 50.
That's
right
around
probably the max that the Bengals would go. And that's probably incentives and.
I like the incentive idea.
Yeah,
making
3 for 45.
Heavily incentive-based because, I mean, Murphy hasn't really proven yet why he was a first-round pick.
Wow. So you're low. What's your overall outlook on
I like
Myles?
Myles as a player. I just think he has a lot to prove still.
That's fair.
He does, for sure.
You're more sold on Myles.
I'm in on Myles. I think Myles is a really good player in this defense, and he's going to be a difference maker this year. And part of that belief is because I think he has to be in order for this defense to get to where I think they need to get to. So I believe in Myles Murphy. I think it would be a mistake for the Bengals to let him walk at this state of their defense, an ascending young player in a position where you're hoping that some of these young guys continue to take steps forward. And Myles Murphy showed that through the end of last year. So anything below that 3 for 50 range, staying around $15 million a year, I think I'd sign tomorrow.
I think that's where I'm okay with waiting and seeing because you have Shamar Stewart, you're hoping to develop a little more. Cassius Howell is a second-round pick for a reason. So you finally have depth on that defensive line. And, yeah, absolutely love the strides that Myles took last year and hoping he can build on those 5.5 sacks. For me, I'm okay waiting and seeing how he performs, how he plays, because if he balls out and gets close to double-digit sacks, then yeah, he's absolutely deserved that contract. But because you have depth, that's where I think the Bengals can kind of wait and see how 2026 shapes out.
But if he balls out and gets that double-digit sacks, he's probably going elsewhere.
Or the number's going to, obviously.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think the Bengals are paying him if he has that breakout season unless they lock him up before he breaks out.
What if they pay him? Right, it's 3 for 50. Let's just say 3 for 50, and he has 2 sacks this year.
Wouldn't feel great.
I'm just going the opposite way because everyone always looks, well, what happens if he balls out? Well, sure, no doubt.
For sure.
You could say that about any guy. But what if the other side happens? Then you're like, spent a lot of money on Mafe and Murphy, and what if the pass rush just isn't there off the edge?
Yeah, that's the
Wouldn't
worry.
feel great.
Yeah.
So there's hopefully a middle ground where I think I'm really set on that $15 million per. Hey, we got you more than Derek Hall. You were drafted ahead of him. But that's what. If I'm Myles, that's what I'm looking at. I want more than Derek Hall.
Well, you're certainly not going below that.
No, I think that sets the market. That sets the market. So yeah, 3 for 45. Is Myles turning that down? I always go to that. Like, is he turning that down if it's, I don't know, $22 million to sign right now? 3 for 45 with another $5 million in incentives. That's the question that we'll get the answer to. And I don't think anything would happen before training camp, but it's one of the many, many contract extensions that the Bengals have on their plate.